What's up, guys? Scott here with Bad Dad. Today we're going to be installing a set of our bagger strip LED taillights. We offer these with all of our rear end kits for touring and softail models. They come with everything you need to do the installation process, including the plug and play wiring, which will include any modules, load equalizers, anything like that you need, as well as the plug and play connection for your factory taillight system. It comes with some various pieces here to protect the wiring, route your wiring, and make sure everything's solid and reliable for you. So with all that being said, let's get started. We'll start out by taking off the saddlebags and go from there. Now that the bags are off, I'll start out getting things ready to go by pulling the wiring through the sheathing that we provide with the lights. We'll also get the aluminum rods ready to go by shaping them to match the fender. Many of our fenders are straight, so you don't have to do this step, but on the Street Series and our Competition Series, you'll have to kind of arc that aluminum rod to match the fender and the side profile you want, so that the light sticks out at the right distance and everything. Last step before we attach to the bike, we're going to get the lights stuck to the aluminum rods. Take the alcohol wipe, clean off both aluminum rods. Your orientation is super important at this point. Make sure you keep the aluminum rods facing the right direction so you stick the light to the correct surface. We're just going to clean off each surface with the alcohol wipe. We're going to use the primer adhesion promoter packet that's on there. You're going to open that up. It's just a little sponge. Wipe down the aluminum, let that sit for 60 to 90 seconds till it's tacky dry. You'll feel it. You got about 10 minutes to work with that. Then go ahead and stick the lights on there. Keep them straight, keep everything oriented correctly, and then we'll move on to attaching these to the bike. Now we're ready to attach the lights to the bike. I'm going to start out on the right side in this case. You're going to want to grab the appropriate light where you got your adhesives set up for that side. Same prep process as when attaching the light to the bar. You're going to use that on the side flange of the fender. So the alcohol wipe to clean it up, the adhesion promoter wipe to get it ready, make it nice and sticky. Again, 60 to 90 seconds to flash dry, and then you got up to about 10 minutes working time. Once you peel off that adhesive backing on the light bar, you're just going to want to be real careful, get things lined up, pay attention to where you need to be on there. Lightly stick it and still pull it away, but once you stick it on there, that adhesion promoter is going to grab and it's going to be pretty stuck. So just be careful, take your time. Think about where you want the surface of the light to be in relation to the flange of the fender. And then once you got that lined up, stick it on there and then just run your hand down and just put some pressure on it to get that adhesive to grab all the way down the length of the light. And then you move on and you'll repeat the process on the other side. When you do the other side, you're obviously need to make sure your line across the bottom of each light or the top of each, whatever reference point you want to use, is at the same height. So keep that in mind. Maybe use masking tape to kind of mark yourself height, find some way to keep those even on there. So when you stick the other one on, you're not guessing and then have to peel it back off and put new adhesive tape on. So just something to keep in mind on that step. And then from there, we're going to start working on routing our wiring. So when routing the wiring, we've provided a couple clips and zip ties to help out with that process. The first place I'll run the wiring is just turn that corner right behind the fender and use the sticky wiring loom clip that we've provided with that on the underside of the fender. Stick that on there with the zip tie and just wrap that off. That gets that wiring tied back and out of the way, out of visibility, and also keeps things from pulling at the end of the light right there. And then from there, you're just going to use the factory routing for the taillight wiring, at least on this bike in particular, the 14 and newer. You've got the hooks on the strut covers that you can use the zip ties and tie into. What we'll do towards the end then, when we feed it into the under seat area, I'll go over the front shoulder bolt of the fender and then up through the frame area into the under seat area, and we'll just repeat that on both sides to feed that area. And that works on any 14 and newer model. On an 09 to 13, you can either route through the fender, which there's usually looms on there, or you could make up your own kind of outside routing like this, which is kind of what we prefer here. Once you've got that wiring routed under the seat area, then we're going to go ahead and start making the connection with the included harnesses. First thing I do is get out the main wiring harness that comes with the kit, find your main attachment to the rear taillight plug on the bike and get that connected. So then you'll have the 3 leads coming off of the main harness. On this 14 to 23 model, we're also going to have some small modules that you'll run, and this is what you'll pin the lights into. So you'll connect each of those modules to their respective right and left side. The brown wires on the right side, purple wires for the left side tail light. You can match those up, plug the modules into the bike, and then plug in the open-ended connector that comes with the tail lights. Then you're gonna look at your wiring, match up the colors, so you'll have a black and a brown on one side, a black and a purple on the other to pin in to that small module section there. Just obviously match those colors up. There is only one way to orient those pins so it'll slide into the connector. You'll know pretty quick whether you've got it the right way, because it'll either slide in or it won't. Slide it in till it kind of clicks, and then close the little back door on the plug over the wires to keep those in there and keep everything protected on that. And then once you've connected all three, both including the plate frame, I should be able to go ahead and check all our lighting functions. And everything's working just like it's supposed to. You got your run, brake, and turn lights. These are super nice, super bright lights that you won't be missed when you're out there on the road, and everything is nice and clean. We're gonna put the bags back on, and then this thing will be ready to go. And that's all for today's installation. You can get these with any of our custom rear end kits at baddad.com.